today's lesson, we are about to discuss the movement of matter together with Agrippo Ferli, Osigan Jess, Orcolio Melboy, Pedrosa Noel Angel, and I. Have you ever wondered where the rain comes from or how the clouds are formed? Well, this is what we're talking about, the water cycle or the hydrologic cycle. And this is our first topic that we are going to tackle. So, the water cycle involves the continuous circulation of water in the Earth's atmosphere system. And the most important in this cycle are evaporation. It is one of the major processes in the cycle and the transfer of water from the surface of the Earth to the atmosphere. Water in the liquid state is transferred to the gaseous or vapor state. Its main factors for evaporation is temperature, humidity, wind speed, and solar radiation. And the principal source of water vapor is the oceans, but also occurs in soils, snow, and ice. The sublimation is a direct conversion from solid to vapor, and it usually happens in snow and ice. When the sun heats up the rivers, oceans, streams, and some surface of waters, its water becomes water vapor and rises up in the air. And when the water vapor reaches up in the sky, it turns into tiny droplets of water. And the picture below is an example of water vapor. The second one is a transpiration. It is an evaporation of water through minute pores or stomata in the leaves of plants. The evapotranspiration or total evaporation is a transpiration and evaporation from all water, soils, snow, ice, vegetation, and other surfaces are lumped together. Even plants sweat, and that's what we call transpiration. When we see in this picture, the sunlight directed to the plants. The roots absorb water from the soil, and the steam draws the water up, and the unused water evaporates from the leaf surface. The third one is the condensation. It is the transition process from the vapor state to the liquid state. This occurs as the consequence of either cooling or the mixing of air masses of different temperatures. The water vapor in the atmosphere is released to form precipitation. Water vapor is the primary form of atmospheric moisture. In this process, the tiny droplets of water along with various gases and dust particles come together and forming a clouds, and that's what we call as a condensation. The fourth one is the precipitation. Water that is falling out of the sky, and this could be rain, drizzle, snow, sleet, and hail. It is distributed into four main ways. First, some is returned to the atmosphere by evaporation. Some may be intercepted by vegetation and then evaporated from the surface of leaves. Some percolates into the soil by infiltration, and the remainder flows directly as surface runoff into the sea. And some of the infiltrated precipitation may later percolate into streams as groundwater runoff. So when the clouds become too heavy and it cannot hold any more water inside, it bursts open to give out rain, hail, or snow. And this is known as a precipitation. The fifth one is a runoff. It is a process where water runs over the surface of Earth. When ice melted, for example, and runoff combines to form channels, rivers, and in-ups into lakes, seas, and ocean. This picture tells about the water cycle. A liquid water evaporates into water vapor, condenses to form clouds, precipitates back to Earth in the form of rain and snow.
The next is nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen cycle is a circulation of nitrogen in various forms through nature. Nitrogen is a component of proteins and nucleic acid, and it is essential
Now we are going
to
to
life
have
on Earth. The circulation of nitrogen cycle. First one is nitrogen fixation. Any natural or industrial process that causes free nitrogen, which is relatively inert gas plentiful in air, to combine chemically with the other elements to form more reactive nitrogen compounds such as ammonia, nitrates, or nitrites. Second one is nitrogen assimilation. Nitrates and ammonia resulting from nitrogen fixation are assimilated. into the specific tissue compounds of algae and higher plants. Animals then ingest these algae and plants, converting them into their own body compounds, deammonification, providing a constant supply of ammonia to be used in the process of nitrification. The fourth one is nitrification or nitrogen fixation. Bacteria such as Rhizobium living within modules on the root of peas, clover, and other legumes convert diatomic nitrogen gas to ammonia.
And now, let's move on to carbon cycle. This cycle describes how carbon transfers between different reservoirs located on Earth. It is very important for maintaining a stable climate and carbon balance of Earth. Vital to life on Earth, nature tends to keep carbon levels balanced. Now, what is carbon? Carbon is an essential element for all life forms on Earth. It helps to manufacture food or release carbon as part of respiration. It is a constant state of movement from place to place. In the atmosphere, carbon is stored in the form of gases such as carbon dioxide. It is also stored in oceans, captured by many types of marine organisms, such as fish.
Phosphorus cycle. Circulation of phosphorus in various forms through nature. Phosphorus is the scarcest and therefore the one most limiting in any given ecological system. It is tied up in a rock and sedimentary deposits from which it is released by weathering, leaching, and mining. Brought back to the land through fish harvest and through collection of guano deposited by seabirds, there appears to be steady loss of phosphorus to the ocean deeps. Because of its high reactivity, it exists in combined form with other elements. The phosphates are utilized by algae and terrestrial green plants, which in turn pass into the bodies of animal consumers. Upon death and decay of organisms, phosphates are released for recycling.
Sulfur cycle is a circulation of sulfur in various forms through nature. Sulfur occurs in all living matter as a component of certain amino acids. It is abundant in the soil, in proteins, and through a series of microbial transformation, ends up as sulfate usable by plants. The sulfur of the amino acid is converted into hydrogen sulfide by another series of soil microbes. In the presence of oxygen, hydrosulfide is converted to sulfur and then to sulfate by sulfur bacteria. Eventually, the sulfate becomes hydrogen sulfide. Hydrogen sulfide rapidly oxidizes to gases that dissolve in water to form sulfurous and sulfuric acids. This compound contributes in large part of the acid rain that can kill sensitive aquatic organisms and damage marble monuments and stone buildings. That is how the sulfur cycle process.